Okay, so this is going to be a restoration on this guitar, or it might be more like a reconditioned guitar. So if you know me, which hopefully you don't, I like music, so I wanted to get an acoustic guitar. So I bought this one. It needs a bit of work. It's missing one of the machine heads, some of the strings are snapped, but overall it's in not too bad condition. So I'm going to fix it up and probably redo it and make it into something a lot nicer. Customize it a little bit. So this is a classical guitar and not something I'm used to playing because I've got an electric. So this is an Ashton guitar, and I don't know much about guitar brands, but I've never heard of the brand Ashton before. I think it's a relatively cheap, but it's still pretty nice. It'll be a lot nicer quality when it's done. I don't know what year it is. I'd guess maybe 2000s or maybe 90s, I don't know. So I hope you enjoy this, something different. So that's what the guitar looks like with all the machine heads pulled off and all the strings taken out, and it's basically just a piece of wood now. All the accessories have been removed that are removable with bolts. So these things are dead simple, much more simple than an electric guitar. So the next step will be sand it all back, and I might modify the neck a little bit to make it look a bit nicer. And that's all the fittings that have come off of it, for lack of a better word to describe it. These have a really fancy pattern on them, which looks nice. Probably polish all of them up. So that's how it looks all sanded back. I've done it first with 120 and then went down to 240 grit. Another thing about this guitar is it didn't have the markers on the frets, so I just drilled some holes for the markers, so hopefully it doesn't affect the sound of it, but it should be okay, I hope. I've also modified the top part of the neck to make it look, at least in my opinion, cooler, and it's now more of a V shape. The top part was just cut down with a hacksaw, about 1.5 inches down. And then I measured 1.5 inches down in the centre. I drilled a hole and then cut down with a saw to that, and then I just cleaned it up with an angle grinder. It's pretty easy. Here's some chrome that I've gathered out of old car wrecks on the bush. I've had this idea for a while, so I've been picking up nice bits of chrome when I see them, and I'm going to use them for this guitar. So I've already cut out 2 of these. These are from a AP6 or AP5 Valiant that have been cut down, and they're going to make a sort of V shape on the guitar. In the centre part it's going to be stainless, and I'm probably going to use this piece of chrome with a nice point on the end and have that there, just the end part of it. This was off a XP Falcon Deluxe. At the top, the plan is to use this piece, possibly, which off an HR Holden Special, to run down the centre, or possibly this, the end of that looks pretty nice, but it's a bit damaged. I don't know what car this is off, but very old, whatever it is. On the back, I want to use these two matching pieces. I'm not sure what car these are off, to make another V. Possibly. I'm not sure if I'll do that yet, but that's sort of the plan. This is just in front of the quarter vent of a Morris 1100. I'm going to cut that in half and put that at the top of the guitar, sort of near where the neck joins the rest of it. I may use this too. This is very old, whatever it's off. It's discoloured. 50s at least, if not earlier. That one I think is an early Holden. I don't think I'll use that one. So that's sort of how it'll look, with stainless in the centre. These two parts here are going to be the scratch plates made out of stainless steel. This used to be the cover of a microwave. So this is how the guitars are looking now, with some chrome work done. I reckon it looks pretty decent. It's stainless steel with chrome. Ended up using this old piece for the top. These pieces were the Morris pieces for the right front door, and that is XP Falcon, the leftover on the back. I thought I'd do something on the back. So the next step will be paint it up. And that's going to be the strap for it. Jeep XJ Cherokee seatbelt. Do not remove. Yeah, right. Okay, so the paint did not stick to this part for whatever reason. Stuck great to the tape and the newspaper. So I got to sand it all back and start it over again. Okay, so attempt 2 at painting it has failed. That is the lightest of coats. Barely even a coat, and the paint's coming up. So, and it's only doing it on the guitar, it's not doing it on the tape. So, it's possible that this guitar has been oiled or something like that, or just something that would make the paint not stick to it. Now I tried painting on the jerry can just to make sure it wasn't the paint itself, but it works great on the jerry can. No cracks or anything. But on the guitar, it doesn't stick. The primer sticks, unless it's a bad coat of primer. But I've used this primer before. I don't know. And how come it doesn't affect the primer, but it does affect the top coats? I'm not sure. That's the idea anyway. Some sort of V shape with the chrome on the sides. If I can get it painted good. Round 3 of painting. This time I've left the centre section. I'm not going to sand all that back down again, because I'm not going to paint over that. But the other parts will be painted. I sort of think it looks pretty cool like this. Might be nice to put a clear coat on and just leave it, but I want it to look a bit nicer. so let's see how it turns out. Hopefully I won't have to paint it a 4th time. So that's how the guitar has turned out after being painted. It's not the best paint job. It didn't turn out very nice. It turned out okay, but that's the 3rd time and I'm not doing it again. So it didn't turn out too good where the 2 colours meet, due to the paints not wanting to work together, but hopefully the chrome will cover that all up. The back turned out really nice, and the back of the neck. The front part on the top of the neck, some of the paint flaked off because it was stuck to the tape, so that didn't turn out too well. And around where the neck connects the rest of it, didn't turn out too well, but that's going to be the last time I paint it, and also not very good around there. Okay, so the chrome didn't cover up the crap paint perfectly. It's not too bad. It's starting to look okay. I'll put the rest on and see how it turns out. So that's how the guitar looks with the chrome attached on it. It looks alright, I reckon. I've only done half of the machine heads because one side is broken. I still need to buy some new parts. It's got a seat belt as a strap. Seems to work pretty good. But yeah, that is how she is looking. So there is the completed guitar. Turned out okay, I reckon. The paint isn't the best, but other than that, it's not too bad. It's got new machine heads on both sides, and the holes lined up, so it's got new strings.